It's the Fall Turf Festival at Gulfstream Park West, and just 11 days left, counting today, Pete. And our Sunday card, we got a fast main track firm turf course. We got a big $150,000 jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six, which starts in race number 5. We were talking just before we came on the air, Pete. Tomorrow we got that perfect 10. It's going to be a good wager.
10 cents the minimum investment, 10% the takeout level. And with the fourths out, you really don't even have to have perfect 10. If you have 9 and nobody else has 9, you're still going to collect like you had 10. So it becomes a very, very interesting and very, very good bet to play, and I'll be playing it tomorrow.
You know, we're one of only a few tracks that are open on Mondays, and we have, ads in all the papers. So I'm thinking around the country, this is going to be the bet du jour of the day because you got that 10% takeout. It's the lowest, I believe you said, in the country for sure recently. So a great bet, but that is tomorrow. Today we got a fast main track, firm turf course. Our first race today, 7 furlongs, claim is 3 and up, $8,000. Non-winners of 3 races in life. Want to go back and show you a race from back on November 3rd of Congrats, Rob. I just thought this horse was game coming down the stretch and, dueling to the wire and only getting beat a half length, Pete.
He switches now to Gilberto Zerpa, who, as you touched on the other day, is 40% off the claim. And he runs very, very well here. Congrats, Rob, in the blue or green colors. He's going to get out-kicked by a horse from New Jersey in Pro Gold. That's Paco Lopez riding this Monmouth Invader Pro Gold, and he's just going to get the better of Congrats, Rob, in the late stages. But as you can see, he puts 5 or 6 on anybody else that afternoon. Third across the wire was Leighton Fire. So he does rate the best horse in the first race of the day. He'll be favored. I tried to beat him. I went with the 3 Garabato on top here. Garabato takes a drop in class. I just hope he hasn't been soured by racing over his head the last couple times. He was claimed for 6,000, put him right back in for 20. He ran a very, very good second, and then they just kind of got a little overzealous after that. He's been on the turf the last 2 times out. He takes a drop in class back in against his lifetime condition friends, and if it's time to wake up, I think today's the day for him.
I went with the number 1 fighter on my ticket, too, back on the dirt today.
We're going to start that already, huh?
Coming back within a head of notching this 3 lifetime condition on the turf. But that dirt race 2 starts back when he was 4th behind Facundo, who's going to race a little later today, and the next out winner called Son of Sparta. If you key off that race, this is not a bad performance for this level 3 lifetime. So good on the turf, going back to the main track today.
Here was the thing with me with Fighter. It's, as Dave Weaver of TVG always likes to say, come on, man. It's a serious problem I have here. This horse runs at almost 20 buyer points better, well, 15 buyer points better on the turf last time out. All of his good races and all of his best figures have been on synthetic and on turf. He gets put back on the turf. He loses a heartbreaker to a next out winner, and they bring him back on the dirt. Come on, man, run him on the grass.
But it's a good spot for him. Maybe they just want to get that win, to get that 3 lifetime condition and then move on. Number 2, Supreme Privilege, we both have on our ticket. Moved to the Carlos Cepeda barn via the claim. Finished second, was placed first that day via a steward's decision. It was a 6,250 2 lifetime at a mile. Turned back 7 furlongs today. Might be a good move for that horse.
Yeah, jockey Manuel Moline rode Marfialato last time out. It's a good thing he wasn't arrested for mugging as they went into the stretch because, man, I mean, it was when I did the steward's decision that afternoon, I actually asked the stewards where they wanted me to start. There was that many infractions. But the point of the race was it wasn't a very tough race. Marfialato was a big upset winner that afternoon, subsequently disqualified. Supreme Privilege had some trouble, but I think he should have been clear of Marfialato a long time before that and had not had to worry about it. I worry about the cut back to 7/8 here today, but I like Carlos Cepeda off the claim, so that's why he made my ticket.
Well, let's go to race number 2, 1 mile on the turf. Claim is fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life for 3-year-olds, 30,000 down to 25,000. I went with the number 3 in here, Wonderfully Wild. It is going back to the turf. Hopped at the start a little bit last time out. Finished second, was 4-5. A favorite that day. That race was moved to a sealed, sloppy track. I think this horse is spotted perfectly today by Marcus Vitali. He's got Leandro Conslaves in the saddle. And you say, well, where's Orlando Bocachica? He won't be riding for the next 3 days.
He gets to sit out for 3 days for aggressive handling a couple of weeks back. Here's the interesting thing about this race. Both the 3 Wonderfully Wild and the 4 Sea Trouble, they exit a common race on October the 9th. Wonderfully Wild was favored in that race, went off 5-2, finished 7th of the 11, beat 8 lengths. Ahead of her that afternoon was number 4 Sea Trouble, who has not been seen since and takes a meaningful class drop. Of the two, I prefer the 4, not only based on the fact that she's been off a little bit longer, but that Wonderfully Wild came back, as you touched on, Ronnie, to lose at odds on, and Sea Trouble hasn't run back since then. That said, I used number 8 on top, Delantera. She impressed me last time out. She beat a field of suspect maidens 2 starts ago, so I didn't expect her to run very well at all in her most recent race. Not only was it her first start against winners, it was a major class hike for Delantera, and she ran excellent. And not only that, she showed that she can come from off the pace. So I think she's headed in the right direction for Jose Garofalo, and I think she has the best chance here to beat the 3 and 4, who to me lay over the field in terms of class and figures. If you go that way.
Yeah, I had the 4 for all the reasons you mentioned on there. Sea Trouble actually finished 8 behind Wonderfully Wild, comes back, finishes in front of him. It's the old rubber match. The number 6, Sharango, going to wear blinkers today. First start since finishing 3rd. That was in a $25,000 2-lifetime back on September 5th. Jesus Rios rides for Joe Cantonese. And I just think maybe with the blinkers today, this horse can wake up a little bit of a price, 10-1 on the morning line, Sharango. You know, why not? Like you said the other day, all these horses are pretty evenly matched, and why can't someone jump up and win and pay a little better price than the obvious 2 in here, which are, as you mentioned, the 3 and 4?
Well, you actually just touched on something I didn't actually consider, that Sea Trouble and Wonderfully Wild, as they faced each other 4 times, and the only time that Sea Trouble beat Wonderfully Wild was the last time they ran against each other. It's definitely renewing of a rivalry for sure.
Anything else in the second before I go to the 3rd race?
No, sir.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I don't get yelled at.
I love how you have to ask me.
Well, I never know when you're done because you quack like a duck. So.
Well, that's what they used to say. If they paid me by the word, we'd all be on there.
I'd be able to pay you back on all the bets I've lost to you this meet here. 3rd race, 6 furlong, maiden claimers, 2-year-olds, $12,500. Jockey change on number 4. Make the rider Jose Valdivia Jr. And we want to go back and show you a race that Jack Fallon had didn't get to do much right at the start. After the start.
Very well said. He didn't get to do much. He's in the white blinkers there in the Generazio colors. Watch right. Yep. They slowed it down for us, and that's it. He shuffles himself back. He was, at that point, he pretty much was not persevered with. That afternoon, he's a horse that 2 races ago ran his heart out and ran lights out when on or near the lead. He was taken out of his element, and they wrapped him up the last time out. Draw a line through that race, but take stock in the fact that now he's been over this surface, so there's always a silver lining in that regard. If the first-time starter's no good here, I think the 3 is pretty much a standout here.
Yeah, I've got him for all the reasons you mentioned, too, and you see that lost all chance in that performance, 2 back. He was beaten neck against $16,000 types. Key off that race, as Pete says, put a line through that last one. The other horse I used in second spot was on the hit list, and this one was no match for Jack Fallon back on October 2nd, but responded last time out. They added the blinkers. He ran an improved second at this level and distance, so I think of all the previous starters in this race, this horse has a chance to be right there at the wire, maybe improve. I know you went with a first-time starter, and I put on the ticket, but I didn't know what to do with this horse.
Well, I wanted to play devil's advocate on number 2 on the hit list. As you touched on, he was soundly defeated by Jack Fallon in his debut run, and then it looks like he improved, and I guess theoretically he did, but they went 2 seconds slower in his second start than they did in the first race. And the winner of that race at Toronto, we've already talked about that.
I know you don't like that race.
No. And Sea Warrior, who was 3rd behind on the hit list, came back to run either yesterday or the day before.
I think it was yesterday.
And ran nowhere land. So I think Jack Fallon, he gets a rider switch here to Gaffleone, who probably will have him on the offensive. But the wild card in the race is, as you touched on, number 7. I'll have to forvo that name here, Atheon or Athon or something to that effect. Has to be space-related, being out of or by Cosmonaut. He draws a perfect post position and a perfect field. If he's got any ability at all, look out.
Yeah, and it's Frank Calabrese who usually spots them. That's the owner, Mike Petro, the trainer, and Paco Lopez. So definitely going to take oodles of money in that race. You also have...
You love your buzz phrases. We got
you
oodles.
also have the number 4 on there with jockey change to Jose Valdivia in there, and that is Spectic.
Actually, I forgot about that. My logic was already touched on. Anybody who came out of that at Toronto race was Pitch City for me. So that left me with 1 horse and 1 horse only. That was the Force Fedek to complete my ticket.
Okay, let's go to our 4th race today. 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. These are maiden filly 2-year-olds, maiden special weight. My top pick in here was actually Scratch, and that was the 6. Don't Pass Judgment. I scratched into number 3, Locks, $140,000 son of Hardspun, debuting locally for trainer Todd Pletcher, owned by Bobby Flay. You get the Locks angle there.
Oh, you're taking my thunder, man.
Yeah, after failing to show much in its career debut at Belmont, this horse, Joe Bravo, hops aboard. Barnes also has the 8-horse in here, Backflip. These horses just improved leaps and bounds in their second start. It looks like a logical choice, and especially with the scratch of the horse I was trying to be cute with, Don't Pass Judgment.
I don't know that you were trying to be too cute. That would have been a good pick. I would have actually had to give you credit for something.
Yeah, I had him picked right on top there.
Number 5, Tsunami of Love, was who I used right on top. She's debuting today for trainer Graham Motion. I actually meant to look up the pedigree on this horse on the bottom side, My Typhoon. I can pretty well guarantee you that I recognize that damn name and that she's produced, if not as graded stakes winner, at least a stakes winner. I really apologize for not doing more homework on that. She's well-bred, though. That's the point of the story. Leandro Gonsalves for Graham Motion, first time out, and 6-1 on the morning line. Seemed like a pretty good idea in a race where there's a lot of chances. This is yet another one of those races that gives you the chills that the champions meet is just around the corner. You have some big-name trainers with some big-name form here in race number 4 today.
Yeah, Tsunami of Love, what I like, too, works out on the chips at Fairhill, comes to Palm Meadows, and works pretty good. So it looks like it's coming into the race nice. But what about the number 2 in here, Gabby's Kitten? This one is making its 4th start at the meeting, hoping to improve on a pair of, I think, well-meant third-place finishes at this level and distance. This is not one with all the, hoopla around it because it's a local horse, but this horse has run very well. So if these other 2 or 3 first-time starters from these big bonds or horses that haven't run in a while don't perform, why not Gabby's Kitten getting up there?
Why not? You made the perfect case and prefaced it with all the what-ifs, and absolutely, I can't sign anything against you there. The horse that I use for 3rd is a horse that's going to be a huge number 7. Again, I'll have to forvo this one. I think it's Toka. Efren Loza Jr. is the trainer, and Antonio Gallardo has the riding assignment. Love that combination. This horse has been well prepped in the morning. She's a daughter of City Zip, so she should show some speed. She's out of an elusive quality mare. Not sure she really wants to go 2 turns, but Efren Loza Jr., first time out, very, very strong statistic. He's very, very good with young horses, and I think that she rates a chance. Based on the same logic you use with Gabby's Kitten, if these New York horses don't fire or take that step forward, you'll be looking for a horse that'll be a decent number.
Hey, wait, Toka, you saying maybe the name is it? Wasn't that the person at the first Thanksgiving dinner? Wasn't that one of those?
Crickets.
He's goofier than I am. Let's go to the 5th race, please. Hurry. This is where the Rainbow Six is going to start. $150,000 in the jackpot guarantee. They surround this thing every day. They're going to nail it one of these days. I thought they might get it yesterday. They did not. So we got that huge carryover 20-cent wager. You know the whole story. Lots of fun. And some of the horses that win and they're still alive, it always amazes me. This is a 1-mile claimer, 3 and up. Non-winners of a race since May 16th. $6,250. Scratch the 3, Exotic Wildcat. I think Charlie in Charge is the one to beat in here.
Can I take a shot at you on camera, or you want me to back off?
Well,
how is he 5-2 on the morning line? He's 5-2 against $30,000 claimers last time and gets beat 5 lengths. There's going to be 2-5.
Well, it's 11-horse field, and there's some decent horses in here. You just can't make a horse 2-5. You got to make everybody else 50-1.
I just wanted to make sure you had your chance to vent properly there. Charlie in Charge is definitely the very best horse in here. He was 8-5 2 starts ago and finished 3rd. Here's the worry, okay? There's obviously the huge worry of dropping from 30 to 62.5, but for me it's magnified because each of his last 4 races he's regressed. He's on the wrong side of his form cycle, and now they're plunging him in class. A lot of red flags here for me. I used him on top anyway because you can't not, but...
Well, he was on the turf last time out, and his 2 races before that, it was in the slop. So we had 2 in the slop, 1 in the turf. Maybe he just needs a fast track. And, the other concern I had is post-11, those last 3 races I just talked about, he broke from the inside. And those 3 starts, he's got to go to the outside. You're right. A little bit of a shaky call. I mean, there's no single here in the Rainbow Six as far as I'm concerned. But I also used the 4 defend, and you did too, Pete, dropping into these condition claimers again after getting parked a little bit wide. And it's $8,000 claimer going 7 furlongs. Note that he's 2 for 2 in the money on a mile.
He's also, as you touched on, dropping from wide open back into the condition claimers. You know that's a huge angle of mine in these races, and that's how come the number 6, Senor Castrico, ended up on my ticket on the bottom. But I'm happy to see that Chip Tease ended on your ticket on the bottom because he's the other one that's dropping out of wide open claimers. I guess you could say the 8 Valerius, but he's been off a pretty good amount of time. So I think you would agree with this. Either Charlie in Charge wins by the length of the stretch,
right,
or we have a Rainbow Six intrigue in the early stages.
Yeah, I don't know how deep you can go in that race, but
it's just hard for me to imagine a horse that less than 3 months ago is second a half a length behind Argosy in an allowance race, losing against this field. I'm not a trainer, but I don't understand how that happens. But
thank God you're not a trainer. Let's go to the 6th race, 1 mile on the turf. These are maiden 2-year-olds, maiden special weight. Scratch the 11, Mongolian King. Who else is going to laugh at me? The 12, African Fun. Most people would just shake their head. So we got the scratch of the 11 and 12. We have another one of these races. I went with the 3, Call Me Crazy. We just talked about. Should be primed and ready to score after returning from the layoff to run second here at this level and distance. Trainers Kathy Ridfo. Manny Cruz will be in the saddle again. Any kind of upside on this horse, what you're expecting, might put this one in the winner's circle?
Well, I can only say that I disagree. I don't like Call Me Crazy here. If he wins, I lose.
Okay.
I respect everything you said. I respect the owners. I respect the trainer. And I respect the jockey, Manny Cruz. I respect the race he ran last time. But for me, this is yet another one of those races where there's so many out-of-town invaders. There's so many horses that have licenses to improve that are lightly raced. The one, John's Kitten, comes out of a Virginia-bred stake in his debut run. Finished a good second that afternoon. As you like to say, hard to gauge Virginia-bred stakes events against maidens here on the turf. You have the 4 Marine One, who debuts for Christophe Clement. That's where I went on top. I'm always a proponent of Christophe Clement horses first time out, no matter where it is or what the situation. So he ended up on top for me here. But you also have horses like number 9, Orcus, who's a first-time starter for Bill Mott. I'm intrigued. You did not use him either. No. I think it's just pretty much common knowledge in horse racing that Mott horses first time are not the way to go.
Yeah, he just usually, very rarely, he usually sits around 3 or 4% with first-time starters winning. You know, all the reasons you mentioned there with the number 1, John's Kitten, first journey around 2 turns, they thought enough of this horse, maybe because it was a Maryland bred, to put it right in the stake in its debut, but doing a lot of things it hasn't done before, you know, stretching out, you know, running here in South Florida. Marine One, if you don't have Christophe Clement on your ticket when you're putting your multiple wager tickets in there, you're not a very good handicapper, because he can jump up and win at any time.
Well, I'll take a shot at myself just to show you what a diplomat I am, because I tell you about that all the time. I don't like to bet horses that have to do something they've never done before, and the only horse in this race to race long on the grass with any amount of success is your top play.
Yeah, so Call Me Crazy. I just think that I liked that race last time. I remember watching, and I just thought, you know, any natural progression, which you would expect, would make it win. But I would not go and just single in here. Now, I don't see any singles yet.
Here. No, I agree with you. I like the 10-horse Majestic Z quite a bit here if the Clement horse isn't ready. Debuts for Jane Sabelli. Love Antonio Gallardo getting a call for this mount. I'm a big Gallardo fan here. This horse is working very well. Seems to have some bottom underneath him for his 2-turn debut. I like this horse. I think that he'll take some money, and I think he figures also just based on the connections.
Well, we know we got to go at least 4 deep there. Now, here's the race that I just could not figure out on the 7th race, and this one is a 1 mile claim with 3-year-olds and up, $6,250. Scratch the 8 worth a buck. I put the 2 Facundo on top. I just think turning back to a mile, 2-race win streak ended, went up against Open Company, did not run well, albeit Paco rides today, mile and 70 yards. I couldn't find anybody else. The only horse that jumped out at me besides that horse was Hugo Light, who I see you have on your ticket.
I do. I'm proud of you that you mentioned that about Facundo. Anybody who doubts my theory that there's a huge class discrepancy between lifetime conditions and wide open, just look at Facundo's form and get back to me on how that works out for you. I use the 5 on top here, a Rogby. You know, I've been on the wrong side of this horse his last 2 times, but because he's run so well and they've both been over this racetrack, I just think he's on the right side of his form cycle right now. Eric Rodriguez appears to get along with this horse really, really well, as he won on him 2 back and was second the time before that. He's logical, I understand, but I also think he trips out pretty good in here, because I agreed with you. This was a tricky race, not only from a form standpoint, but from a pace standpoint. I don't think Rush Now really wants to go 2 turns. He wanted going 2 turns at Suffolk, and he was second going 2 turns at Suffolk before that, but his last race here just indicates to me that I don't think he really wants to go long, and he might take some money here off the claim. Willie Pay's kind of intriguing on the bottom half of the ticket. He's dropping way down. I think of him as a turf horse, and then look back at his last dirt race. He got beat 3 parts of a length to stall walking dude.
Yeah, well,
that's pretty serious.
Yep, and Hugo Light we were talking about. This one was a winner at this level back on October 10th. Dropped, stalked, finished a pretty good 5th last time out. When you go back and look at this race a couple of times, in that $8,000 race he was in last time, had that next out winner, Alico Castle, that we were talking about on the show a couple of days ago when it ran. And Hugo Light, you know, if you keep looking at this race, he just keeps coming back into my view, you know?
Yes, I do know. I agree with you 100%. I could not have said it better. He's a 6-time course winner. He's won 10 races overall. He makes a lot of sense, and if you're a multi-leg player, you don't use him at your own risk. He's a must-use because not only that, when we're talking about some upside with this horse, he's going to be a decent number. He's 8-1 on the morning line, and that's about what he'll be.
Exactly. And I also use the 9 Love Dr. Bill, cutting back to mile, getting Prado today, finished 3rd against this familiar competition. Your horse in there, the 5 horse, all these horses, mile of 70 yards. This horse, right in a bunch, I had a really, really tough time not only making the line for this race, but handicapping it. So it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out in that 8th race. And I wrote right in my stuff, as you could see there, wide open race last night when I was looking at this race again. Let's go to the 8th race today. 1 mile of 116. Claim is 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life, or since May 16, 30 down to 25. We got a video we want to show you, and it is race number 4 from October 10th, and it's Racetrack Romance, dueling all out to the wire and losing by half length. I thought this was a pretty game performance by Racetrack Romance that day when it was the number 3, Pete.
Yeah, imagine that mom running up on the outside. Imagine that mom as a stakes-tested campaigner. Racetrack Romance tried to dig in and fought very, very gamely. I don't know, for me, I don't know what the difference class-wise is here. I think this is a pretty big step up in class. I don't know. I mean, it's just company line-wise, you know, you have horses like Cantor Kid, who's a stakes winner over this course. He's in terrible form right now, but he gets Bravo for David Jacobson. And then you have veteran campaigners like number 8 Mythical Man, who I used on top here. And then you have horses like Strongbow, who's kind of rising in class. I mean, I don't know how to gauge what he ran against last time with what he runs against now, and that's why he's not on my ticket. It wasn't any taking a shot against him or anything. I didn't know where to put him.
Well, Mythical Man, pretty good, second best last time out as the favorite for Kathleen O'Connell and Eduardo Nunez.
Yeah, remember when we do the show and I keep saying about the Dallas Keen horse that won off the layoff, the Dallas Keen horse that won off the layoff? That's him, Master Dunker, who beat him the last time.
Oh, the one you can never remember the name.
Right, I can never remember his name, Master Dunker. He's stakes tested as well. He came off a pretty extended vacation to win that race. He was a good number that day, but I think that race charts out well here. I used Mythical Man on top, second start since coming down from the up north. Eduardo Nunez for Kathleen O'Connell. Boy, did they have a horse yesterday. Lady Shipman, wow.
Oh, man, that horse just took to the, took to the turf and really was impressive. How about the 7 Delta Bluesman? Moved to the Jorge Navarro Bon Vita claim, stretching out to a mile in the 16, dueled, held sway to defeat $30,000. 2 lifetime claimers going 5 furlongs. You know this barn, 39% with new claims, and more importantly, 42% with horses stretching out in distance. So if Racetrack Romance wins and Delta Bluesman runs second, it will be an all Navarro exacta.
Absolutely, and Delta Bluesman makes some sense on the stretch out. Again, he's another one. I don't know how this, there's certain categories, as with any handicappers, there's certain tracks, there's certain categories at those tracks that you have a good feel for, and this level of horse on the grass has not been where I have made my money throughout the summer season. I will tell you one thing, though, and I actually found this as we were doing the program here today. The 11 horse, 9 in the 9, A, he's not going to be 30-1, but B, he's got a huge chance here. He got beat 3 lengths to Screenplay last time out, and he's a 6-time course winner.
Yeah, so that might be the horse for course play and jump up, and that's one of the horses you might want to throw on your Rainbow 6 ticket because he's 31 in the morning line, but you maybe go off at 10, 15-1 or something like that.
And he's also by Brushing Up, and that hits me right between the eyes. Brushing Up was the South Florida Stakes campaigner for a long time. I was a big fan of his.
Well, not only do we have the Rainbow 6 today, but we have stakes action today. We have the Kenny No. It is the 9th race, 6 furlongs, 3-year-olds and up, $90,000. Talking about an evenly matched field, I just thought this was one evenly matched field, and I went with an old buddy of mine in here, and that's Grand Shores.
Oh, I thought you were going to say City of Weston.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not going with City of Weston. No, I finally got jumped off that bandwagon. I never really got on that bandwagon. #1 Grand Shores. Here's the thing. Consistent 9 for 10 in the money this year. Breaks from the rail, gets the tap and knots. This is an evenly matched field. Stanley Gold, Edgar Zayas. This is more of a route that this one finally gets home on top. And we want to show you a video, Bud, of a horse in here, Risk Factor, that I know you wanted to go back and look at its race.
Watch Dreaming of Nino. That's what I wanted you to see. The 3-horse there misses the start. Now, I got in a huge debate with somebody whose name I won't mention about this race. I was criticized for the call. Dreaming of Nino rushing up now. Risk Factor's left alone up top. These are stakes horses. Now, the race last time out, they are stakes horses. The opening quarter went in 22-3. That afternoon, at 6 furlongs earlier in the day, maiden 2-year-olds went 21-4. They're crawling up front here. This is what we got in the debate about. Risk Factor was left alone that afternoon, and he was going to win that race. Now, for me, not only did you want to see that, but you also wanted to take note that with Risk Factor being left alone that afternoon, the horses that ran behind him, including your horse Grand Shores and Close It Out, tactically they were at a huge disadvantage, where today they will not be at a tactical disadvantage. There's plenty of other speed in here, and this race, I agree with you, is wide open.
You remember when Speechify came back to run last time in the June Rummy Champ, he was tipped more than the Maitre D at 10 Palms in the race. He come back. He's worked well. He's going back to the dirt.
I love him here. I mean, I think, I shouldn't say love because this is a competitive race, but this is great. I mean, he comes off the turf course, a race that he just really never took part in, but he had to get something out of that race. He'd been laid up since January. He's obviously got talent. He obviously has an issue or two that, caused him to miss pretty much the entire summer season. They go to Paco from Prado last time. Prado didn't beat him up last time out. He only got beat 2 lengths. And now we get dirt and a stretch out on distance. The only problem is that I think that people are going to be wise to him. I hope he's not as bet like he was the last time. He's probably not a good gamble per se. I just think he's sitting on a big race.
All right, the question I want to ask you, did you really put City of Weston on your ticket because you like him or just to get to me?
Both. I think that, for me, everybody who's coming out of the I don't know if it was the official prep for this race, the no condition allowance race, they were compromised last time by the fact that Risk Factor got his own way. Sing Another Song, the 6-horse in here, will not allow Risk Factor to get anything his own way, nor will Mongolian Saturday, who went 43 and change on the grass last time out and was very, very impressive. I want to use him, too, at a nice number for Carlos Marquez. I just think the pace scenario here will favor a horse from off the speed. I want Speechify to get in front of those closers and get first run. That's what I think will happen. But the closers are Close It Out and City of Weston. City of Weston will be the better price of those two, and I absolutely knew it would bother you very much.
It does very much because if you're not aware, I live in Weston. I did not bet him his first couple of times when he paid big money, and I've been chasing him ever since. Let's go to the 10th. 1 mile on the turf. Claim is 3 and up. Non-winners are 3 in life, and we want to show you a horse back on October 30th, and it was the 5. And where in the world running up the backside, and then we'll switch around there.
Yeah, I wanted you to see this. This was just a nice progressive run. He was 6th in the early stages. Now he's made it up to be 4th. He made about 5 lengths on the backstretch call there, and then he's just going to continue to progress for jockey Luca Panici. I love the way he ran. He just ran one pace, and now here he comes on the outside. He was making ground the whole way. And just watch this. I love the way he's striding here too. I mean, he's kicking on and he's doing everything he can do. And what he had was enough that afternoon. He continues to move in the right direction for trainer Monty Thomas, and I see no reason based on that run last time out why he can't get the same trip. He's going to be forgot about on the betting windows, and I think he's a viable alternative. This is one of those races. I'll go on the record. They all look the same to me. Play a price horse.
Well, when I saw this video, we were getting the show ready together, and I saw it, I started to agree with you. I said, boy, this horse, not a bad performance last time out. Did not use him, but I would definitely going to use him after I watched that race because he just cruised right up and he just went about his business and won it.
Every time, for me, calling a horse race, every time a horse can make ground at every call, I'm always impressed by that, regardless of the level.
I'm going to get number 7, Farley's Mandate, to win one of these days. Give him one more chance.
If you do, it'll be City of Weston-esque on my end because if he ever wins again, I lose.
Well, he also real status he's been in. He got beat ahead against 10,000, dropping him $2,000. I don't know if that's a drop, but Farley's Mandate going to try and make this horse win one more time. Got Moonlit Park in second. I see you have the number 3 horse on your ticket. There's one of the speeds in there.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing about No Calcetines. Again, I was looking at this race and saying to myself, okay, everybody looks the same. I want to play price horses in the top 3. Then I look and see Osaka Joe, who I liked a lot last time, and so did you, and he ran something awful last time out. Based on his race 2 back, he should have ran much, much better. And then I look and see, well, Gomez is not riding. Why not? He didn't do anything wrong last time. Gomez went to No Calcetines, who he rides every time. I have to think that he chose that horse. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. You know, we're all probably guessing on that, and the agents know more than we do. But I'm intrigued by that because I think Osaka Joe has a big chance, and if Gomez is going to get off to ride No Calcetines, I got to give him a look. He'll be a good price.
Yeah, well, Osaka Joe we were talking about, he closes. You got speed from Moonlit Park, No Calcetines, Farley's Mandate, So Cozy. I mean, they're not all going to be on the lead, but they're all going to be up there. You know, positioning might set it up for Osaka Joe. So they're giving us our names up there. That must mean we must be ready to go, right?
Well, it says 31 minutes, so we still have a little more time. But to your point about the pace scenario here, it's another reason I thought Where in the World had a look, because he's going to lay back. And if he does what he did the last time, just pick him off down the backside.
You're absolutely. I agree with you 100%. When I saw the replay, I agreed with you on that one. So I'm throwing that one on my ticket. As we mentioned, we got the Rainbow Six, we got stakes action, and we got tomorrow that 10 cent perfect 10
It's
giveaway.
all about 10s here this afternoon. 10 races on the program, 10 races tomorrow afternoon with the perfect 10. One heck of a feature race, the Kenny No Handicap here today. Enjoy your afternoon with us at Gulfstream Park West.